Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Garima Singh signing in for today's video. In this video, we'll be covering the remaining chapter of our chapter number 1 of statistics. In this video, we'll talk about the stages of study, the scope, the importance and the function of statistics. Proceed further with our chapter number 1 of statistics. Let's quickly revise its definition. Statistics means it is the science which deals with the collection, presentation, analysis and interpretation of the numeric data. This is the definition that I have told you previously in my previous video, and also I have shared various other important basic concepts of economics along with the importance or the features of statistics. Now we'll be continuing with the very same chapter, and let's learn what are the stages of statistical study. Studying statistical or statistic is all about implying the knowledge of various stages into the statistical study. By various stage I mean, first one will collect the data, then it will be organized in a proper way. Third stage, the data will be presented in a proper manner that I have told you in my previous video. And the fourth stage here is the analysis of data. Here we will analyze what is the data all about, and the last stage, which is all about interpretation of data. Here we'll deal with the result and we'll see how the data has been calculated and what result it has led to. Let me give you one simple example. Suppose your class teacher now want to give you a result, okay, of your unit test. What she'll do? She'll first collect all the data, all your number from your different subject teacher, then organize your marks into a particular form, represent it in your report cards, and then on the marks and your performance, various things will be analyzed and you will be marked accordingly. Okay, and the last stage will tell us about the interpretation about the student, how one has performed in their unit test. Okay, this is about the stages of statistical study. Each statistical study stage consists of various techniques or the tools, okay, which are used in order to do one complete stage. Okay, for example, the very first stage includes or talks about the collection of data. So here the technique or the tools used here will be the census and the sample technique. It means one will go and collect the samples or the census. Okay. Second stage, which talks about the organization of data. Here will be arranging the data into array data or tally bars. Okay. Into different categories in order so that in the coming stage it is easier for us to analyze the data. In the third stage, which is all about presentation of data, one will be using here tables, graphs, diagrams, etc. in order to present the data. And the fourth stage, which is all about analysis, here various mathematical tools like percentage, average, correlation, regression coefficients, etc. will be used in order to analyze what is that data all about. You must be wondering, percentage and average is something that we have listened earlier and we know these terms. And what is correlation, regression coefficient? Do not worry guys, these are something that we'll be covering in our coming chapters, and you will get to know why these terms are important for us in this statistical studies. Okay, then we have the stage 5 in which we interpret the data. Here we get to know the magnitude of the percentage, the degree of relation between economic variable and etc. Basically, interpretation of data tells us about what the data is all about. जो हमने कलेक्शन की थी डेटा की, उसके क्या रिजल्ट निकले, हमने एनालिसिस करके उसका क्या रिजल्ट कंक्लूड किया है. ओके, जब हम स्टडी करते हैं तो डिफरेंट स्टेजेस के बारे में हमने पढ़ा. देयर आर 5 स्टेजेस and according to each stages there are different tools, different techniques that one use for the data. Okay, so this was it for the stages of statistical study and also the tools and techniques used by one in these various stages. About the scope of statistics. While studying the scope of statistics, it means what does the statistics as a subject deals with. Okay, so first we'll learn about the nature of the statistics, what is the subject matter in the statistics, and what are the limitations to the subject statistics. Now, talking about number one, the nature of the statistics. Here the basic question arises that is statistics a science or an arts? Okay, क्या statistics एक science है या एक art है? Okay, so according to Professor Tippett, he says that statistics is both the science and art. By statistics as a subject, it is both. It could be termed as science and it could be termed as art. Okay, so as science, when we say statistics is a science, we mean by statistics, one can study the numerical data in a scientific or a systematic manner. Therefore, this is termed as a science. फॉर एग्जाम्पल जब हमने डेटा कलेक्ट किया तो कोई भी डेटा कलेक्ट किया देयर आर डिफरेंट 5 स्टेजेस एंड डिफरेंट टूल्स दैट वन यूजेस देयरफॉर वी गो विद द साइंटिफिक मेथड ऑफ अप्लाइंग आवर ब्रेन आवर मटेरियल इनटू अप्लाइड फॉर्म or in a systematic form so that we could analyze the numeric data, what the numbers are trying to reveal about a certain situation. Therefore, it is termed as a science. Talking of statistics as an art. Why do we call it as a art also? Because statistics relates to the quantitative data that are in relation to our real life problems. And by using the statistical data, we can easily understand the real life problem in a better way. Let me give you one example so that the idea of me saying or the Professor Tippett saying that statistics is both a science and an art is clear to you all. For example, the problem of unemployment. We all are aware this is a very big problem in our country. People are not getting work who are willing to work. Therefore leading to the problem of unemployment. Now, if you want to know how many people in our vast nation are unemployed, is it easy? Can one calculate on the fingers the number of people unemployed? No, because we are the second most populous country of the world. It is impossible for us. Therefore, we need statistical study. So we'll go for, according to the stages, we'll go and collect data, organize them, present them, analyze it, and then interpret the result. So this statistical study make the real life problem very easy to understand. Like I have given the example of unemployment. The size is very big, so we can only rely on the quantitative data and the statistical study in order to get to know what is the actual situation in our country. Therefore, defining statistical as a science, because we are following a systematic manner or a scientific manner of collecting and organizing the data. And as an art, we are now relating the concept to the real life problems. Therefore, it is defined as both science and art. I hope the concept, the nature of statistics is clear to each one of you. Now, scope of statistics also talks about the subject matter. The subject matter is divided into two parts. One is the descriptive statistics and second is the inferential statistics. When I say descriptive statistics, it talks about all those methods which are used for collection, presentation and analysis of data. So descriptive statistics deals with only those of the methods which are dealing with the collection, presentation and analysis of the numeric data. For example, we have average, the mean, median, mode, etc. Now let me give you one example here. Suppose I want to calculate the average marks of the students in economics. So this will be termed as the descriptive statistics, because here I am going for the collection of data, presenting it into a tabular form, and lastly I am making an analysis of all the students' performance. Okay, so this is the descriptive statistics, whereas the inferential statistics deals with the methods which deals with the conclusion thing. Okay, these are the methods which are by which the conclusion are drawn relating to the universe or the population on the basis of the given sample. It means हम सैंपल को देख के तब हम डिस्क्रिप्टिव के अंदर तो कलेक्शन कर रहे हैं, प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, एनालाइज कर रहे हैं. इन्फ्रेंशियल के अंदर हम उसका कंक्लूजन ड्रॉ करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर मुझे एग्रीगेट हाइट ऑफ द एंटायर स्टूडेंट्स फाइंड आउट करनी है और द एग्रीगेट मार्क्स ऑफ द एंटायर क्लास आई वांट टू नो, सो इन्फ्रेंशियल स्टैटिस्टिक्स is dealing with the aggregate. This will help me to draw the conclusion regarding the class. Okay, whether the class is of intelligent students or an average students or poor students. Okay, so inferential statistics is all about drawing the conclusion and depends upon the aggregate of the sample. And lastly, the scope of statistics talks about the limitation of statistics as a subject. Number one limitation here is statistics studies only the numeric facts. हमने जब फीचर्स किए थे उसमें यही पढ़ा था ना कि statistics is dealing with the numeric data only. Okay, and this thing is now making to avoid the qualitative phenomena in the environment. For example, qualitative चीजों को नहीं काउंट करती है, जैसे justice. Justice is a qualitative phenomena. जस्टिस मिल सकता है, डिनाई हो सकता है, बट जस्टिस कैन नॉट बी कैलकुलेटेड. किसको कितना इंसाफ मिला है? क्या कभी ऐसा सुना है मुझे 10 यूनिट इंसाफ मिला है, इसको 20 यूनिट इंसाफ मिला है? नहीं, बिकॉज दीज आर द क्वालिटेटिव फिनोमिना विच कैन नॉट बी कैलकुलेटेड इन द न्यूमेरिक टर्म्स. Okay, so number one limitation of the statistics is it avoids the qualitative phenomena in the environment. Second limitation of statistics is it only studies the aggregate only, and it does not study the statistical fact relating to any particular unit. When we were doing the features of statistics, तब मैंने आपको example दिया था, if I am talking about a particular individual, that will not consist the data in statistics. Rather, if I am talking about the aggregate of all the people in the locality or in the school, that thing will consist my data in statistics. For example, अगर मैं बोलती हूँ my income per month is 50,000 rupees, so this is not the data that will be taken into consideration while studying the statistics. Whereas if I say the salary of all the teachers in the school is around 50,000 rupees per month, so this will comprise my data of statistical study. Therefore, it only studies the aggregate and does not talk about the particular unit. Talking about the limitation, the third here is statistics talks about the homogeneity of data and essential requirement. It means in order to compare a data, we require the uniformity in the quality. एक यूनिफॉर्म यूनिट के अंदर होनी चाहिए दोनों चीजें और एक दूसरे से रिलेशन में होनी चाहिए दो चीजें, तभी हम उनको कंपेयर कर सकते हैं. दैट वी हैव स्टडीड व्हाइल डूइंग द फीचर्स ऑफ स्टैटिस्टिक्स. फीचर्स ये तो बोलते हैं कि जो भी हम कंपोनेंट को कंपेयर करेंगे, ऑल द कंपोनेंट शुड बी इन अ यूनिफॉर्म क्वालिटी. लेट मी गिव यू वन इलस्ट्रेशन हियर. इफ आई से द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ फूड ग्रेन्स एंड द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ क्लोथ्स, can we compare both the goods? No. Why? Because the unit in which the food grains are measured is tons, whereas when we talk about the cloth, it is measured in meters. So there is no uniformity, and therefore we cannot compare both the goods and draw a conclusion. Therefore, homogeneity of data is one of the limitation of statistics. Next here is the results are true only on an average. It means sometimes observations are not error-free and is not applicable in all the conditions. By this line, I mean, if I say on an average, the income of all the teachers in this school is 50,000 rupees. It not necessarily means that everyone of in the staff is getting 50,000 rupees per month, but this is an average. Okay, another example let me give you here. If I say the average income of a person in our country is 50,000 rupees, it does not necessarily imply that everybody in our country is earning 50,000 rupees per month. Okay, this is the average. So the results are only based on the average and observations are not error-free. And it is not necessary that these results will be applicable in all the conditions. Then we have the next point here. It says, without reference, the results may be proved wrong. It means, in order to draw the conclusion in the statistical study, we require a sample. Okay, so we need to mention the circumstances, the conditions before drawing the conclusion. Now let me give you one illustration here so that this point is very clear in your head. If I say there are two industries, one is cloth and other is paper. The cloth industry is making a profit of 1,000 rupees. Next month it made a profit of 2,000 and in the third month it made a profit of 3,000 rupees. Whereas the industry of paper earlier was making a profit of 3,000 rupees, then it came down to 2,000 and in the last month it came down to 1,000 rupees. If we use the statistical study and calculate the average of both the industry, it will come around 2,000, which is all the way same, but there is a difference. What is the difference here? That the cloth industry's profit is increasing. It increased from 1,000 to 3,000, whereas the profit of the paper industry has declined. It has came down from 3,000 to 1,000. Next limitation is that the statistics can be used only by the expert. By this I mean the people who have the knowledge of different methods about the tools of the statistics can only use this statistics in order to find out the solution or draw the conclusion. Now let me give you one example. Suppose you are ill. If you go and ask a chemist about the medicine, obviously you will, without doubting him or her, you will immediately take the medicine. Rather, if there is another local people sitting at the shop and that people or that man is suggesting you to take some medicine, will you go for that medicine? Obviously not. Okay, so similarly, who have the knowledge regarding the subject or regarding the methods or the tools of statistics can only use this subject. अगर मुझे statistics आती है, मैं आपको समझा रही हूँ. Okay, so this is acceptable. But if I ask somebody who is not an expert in economics, will he or she be able to explain the subject? Obviously not, because everything is new to them and they won't be able to explain the concepts. Similarly, statistics as a subject can be only used by the experts only who have the knowledge. Next here is the biggest limitation of statistics is it is prone to misuse. By this I mean one can use to support the pre-drawn conclusion even when it is false. If I say जिसको knowledge है tools की, okay, भाई कैसे क्या use करना है, तो वो अपना conclusion निकाल सकता है because it's all about playing with the data. Okay, तो चाहे वो कितना ही गलत क्यों ना हो conclusion, उसको वो justify कर सकता है. So this is the biggest limitation, that it is prone to misuse. Okay, that's it for the limitation of statistics. Now let's quickly see what is the function and the importance of studying statistics as a subject. Number one here is, it is the quantitative expression of the economic problem. By this I mean, what is our real life problem This is the quantitative expression. We can express it in terms of numeric data. For example, let's talk about the problem of unemployment. Okay, unemployment की problem है, सबको पता है. कैसे पता है हमें कि कितने लोग unemployed है हमारी nation में? Because we have done a statistical study about the population. We have taken the samples भी कितने लोग काम कर रहे हैं और कितने लोग नहीं कर रहे हैं. It's all because we have used the statistical study in order to get the quantitative expression about the problem, which is the unemployment. Okay. Second here is the intersectoral and the intertemporal comparison. When I say intersectoral comparison, it means we can compare the intersector. Like for example, let's take the same example, unemployment. Intersectoral मतलब rural और urban में दोनों जगह अलग अलग अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट है, तो हम इंटरसेक्टोरल कंपैरिजन कर सकते हैं. Whereas इंटरटेम्पोरल मतलब टाइम के बेसिस पे हम कंपेयर कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अराउंड 1951 to 60 the rate of unemployment was supposed it was around 15%. Okay, and if I say at present day, okay, unemployment in the year of 2019 to 20, it is around 8%. So we can compare the data on the basis of time. That is called intertemporal. Whereas when we are comparing the data in sector wise, that is called intersectoral. Okay, this is the second most important function of the statistics. Now moving ahead, third here is working out cause and effect relationship. Cause and effect relationship मतलब अगर मेरी प्रॉब्लम ऑफ अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट है, ओके, सो स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल्स कैन हेल्प मी टू फाइंड आउट व्हाट आर द रीजंस बिहाइंड, एंड आफ्टर स्टडिंग द डेटा और द प्रॉब्लम और द अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, द रीजंस, वन कैन ऑलवेज फाइंड द इफेक्टिव रेमेडीज in order to overcome this problem. Okay, therefore statistics is used for working out the cause and effect relationship between the economic variables in the economy. Next here is statistical study is used for the construction of economic theory and economic model. It means the statistical study is used for making the economic theory and the economic models, okay, because the study sets the relationship between the statistical data and the conclusion. जो हम conclusion निकालते हैं और जो डेटा के बीच में क्या रिलेशनशिप है, उसके बेसिस पे हम बहुत ज़्यादा इकोनॉमिक थ्योरी या इकोनॉमिक मॉडल कंस्ट्रक्ट कर सकते हैं. Therefore, statistical study helps us in construction of economic theory and model. Let me give you one example. Let's talk about theory of demand here. What does the theory of demand says? That there is an inverse relationship between price and the demand of a commodity. अगर प्राइस इंक्रीज होगा तो डिमांड डिक्रीज होगी, एंड डिमांड इंक्रीज होगा तो प्राइस डिक्रीज होगी. ओके, देयरफॉर both the component of price and demand in the economy go in different direction. So how did we get to know the inverse relationship between price and demand? It's all because of the economic theory. And how this theory was constructed? Because several statistical study was made regarding the two economic variable in the economy, and hence we got the theory of demand. The next importance of function of statistical study is it help in the economic forecasting. By this I mean forecasting means that we can analyze the present situation and can take the measures, certain measures for the coming future. If I say that there is increase in price rise, okay, will you go and buy the commodities? Obviously not. You will wait, let the prices come down. Okay, so similarly, statistical study help us in assessing and ascertaining the future course of the event. Which events? The events which are of economic significance. For example, the pattern of price. प्राइस इंक्रीज हो रहा है, डिक्रीज हो रहा है, उसके बेसिस पे सेवरल इन्वेस्टमेंट हैपेंस इन द इकोनॉमी. ओके, अगर प्राइस बहुत ज़्यादा हाई है, विल पीपल और द बिग बिजनेसमैन वांट टू इन्वेस्ट? नो. They will not invest because this is not the right time to make the investment. Rather, they will go for the saving thing. Okay, so the pattern of price is one example for you guys to understand how the statistical study help us in making the economic forecast. Then, the statistical study is also used in the formulation of policies. Which policies? The policies regarding to our economy. Okay, so let me give you one example here, and I'm sure every one of you can relate. You must be thinking how the finance minister every financial year comes up with the budget, okay, and comes up with the increase or decrease in the tax system. Some financial year the tax is increased, for some financial year the tax has been decreased. So how did the finance minister get to know this is the time to increase the tax or this is the time to decrease the tax? It is all because this increase or decrease of tax is based on this statistical study, and this study help them to get the idea, the government get the idea what is the capacity of the population. Can the population afford to pay more of the tax or the less of the tax? And similarly, they formulate various government policies according to the population. So, how did the formulation of policy become favorable for the people? It is because the government follows the study of the statistical tool, which help them to give them the idea about the population capacity. And this tax or this tax policies and certain other policies made by the government, वो ऐसे बनाई जाती है कि मैक्सिमम बेनिफिट रहे लोगों को, लेस ऑफ बर्डन रहे और सरकार द गवर्नमेंट को भी रेवेन्यू जनरेट हो जाए. Okay, let's take the example of the present time, the corona time. Now the government knows that people are facing the economic crisis. Therefore, in future the policies that the government will come up with will be the most favorable for the population or the people of our nation. Okay, therefore, all these studies, the statistical study, help the government in the formulation of the policies. And lastly, it helps in establishing the economic equilibrium. By equilibrium, I hope you are clear with the situation. It is a state of balance. Okay, so the study helped in achieving the economic equilibrium, which means the state of balance between the producer and the consumer. The producer works for the profit, whereas the consumer looks for the maximum satisfaction. And this study helped us to achieve the economic equilibrium between the both in the economy. Okay guys, now we are done with the very first chapter of statistics and it's time to tone your brain. Make sure every one of you comment down all the answers in the comment section along with your name. Number one question of the day is, you need to give me the tools that one uses at the stage 3. Second question here is, write down the scope of statistics. You just need to give the headings. Okay. Third question for the day is, give any 3 limitations of statistics. And the fourth question is, give any 2 importance or the function of statistics. And lastly, very important, do this question very nicely because this is very important. Justify the statement whether statistics is a science or an art. Answer these questions in the comment section. Again, I am repeating. Okay guys, now I am signing off. That's it for the very first chapter of statistics. And you guys, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel as this will mean a lot. Thank you for watching.